Hello, welcome everyone back to my kitchen. Today, what are we making, Matthew?
Pancakes.
It's not pancakes.
Pancakes.
What are we making?
Apple pie.
Apple pie! We wanted to make a video also putting out there our thoughts on coronavirus. While we're making this beautiful pie, I also wanted to recommend you guys some like films you can watch while you decide to self-quarantine or you're like on lockdown, like many of my Spanish friends out there. Hello?
I just love pie. I'm fucking psyched. I'm fucking psyched.
The things that we need to make this pie, we need some sexy apples, of course. That's the very first thing. Flour. We have very specific flour that we bought for this. We need one of these roll pins, by the way. Oh, butter. We need some butter. Then we need some eggs. Very essential is just a glass thing that you can put inside the oven. And toilet roll.
I'm gonna take so many shits.
We're gonna add in the measures. According to this guy, first of all, you need to put it all into a food processor. We've had to sort of wing a bit the measurements because they're American and we have absolutely no idea. So he needs to put quite a bit and then use the salt and put a tiny bit of salt, not much. It's all pretty well mixed up, and then what we do is that we mix it up with the unsalted butter. Beautiful unsalted butter. We're gonna cut 2 sticks and a half. I'm gonna check what that means. So this dude is saying 2.5 sticks. I've just Googled it, that means the entire thing. If COVID doesn't get us, this will get us. While he's cutting the butter, what the hell is happening? So today is Sunday, 15th of March. As of Thursday, Friday, we made the choice to self-quarantine. I've been really pissed off for the past 2 days because the politics and the way that the UK government are approaching this is absolutely disastrous. So ridiculously selfish, giving more importance to the economy than people's lives just because it's an all people's disease. The way the UK is dealing with it is by saying, let's just create an immune barrier. Let's just let people get it, 60% of the people, so it actually works the way they want to. Let's overcrowd hospitals with people with this disease. All of the people that I've seen so far don't seem to give a shit about what's happening, or they're just like so misinformed. You have to have a sense of responsibility, even if you know it's not going to fully affect you. Maybe it will affect someone that you know or someone that you don't know. People are going to die from this and it's preventable. That's the thing. But you decide to leave the house, to cough without covering your fucking mouth, you dirty... Matthew, don't do that.
I'm gonna put it into a bowl, do it by hand, and put it back in.
So this is ice water and we have to mix it up until we make a fairly nice dough. Matthew is creating the dough now, finally.
Do you reckon that's doable?
Well, that's pretty, right? It's looking pretty good so far, I gotta say. So can I touch it? Woo! So we got a pretty sexy piece of dough and we're gonna leave it in the fridge for 2 hours. So while we cut the apples, we're just gonna be talking about certain things that you could potentially do while you're isolated from the world. I want to first of all recommend some films. So the first one I want to recommend is The Breadwinner. It's such a good film about a war situation going down back in the beginning of 2000s.
That's so depressing.
Shut up, it's a nice film. The second one I want to say is I Lost My Body. It's a French film, beautiful animation, beautiful story, so original. The next one that I really want to recommend is One Cold Song of the Sea. It's an Irish film and I watched it for the first time in Hawaii with my friend Carla and it's so beautiful and you finish it and you just can't stop smiling. You're like, that was so wholesome. This is a very personal choice, but I absolutely love it. It's one of my very favorite trilogies ever. Before Sunrise, Before Sunset and Before Midnight. It is by Richard Linklater, the guy who made Boyhood, and he sort of tells the story of this couple throughout the years and their different stages. The very first film is set in the 90s, the second film is in the 2000s, and the third film is in 2015. It just makes you see yourself so much in them and their worries about the world and their desires.
The best film I watched last year was Chef. So Chef is by Jon Favreau, who did Iron Man, Elf, The Mandalorian, and it's just a film that celebrates cooking. If you
It's
like,
a feel-good film.
Yeah.
Mid-90s. Mid-90s is a very good film. It was so much fun. I mean, I think it's tailored to a very specific audience as well. It's a very good independent film for anyone that is a sucker for indie films.
coming of age.
Exactly, it's a coming-of-age film. A TV show that is very good. It's fairly fun. At the same time, I gotta say, it's quite dark. It's a German show. I can't really say what it is about, because if I say it, I'm already spoiling it for you.
Very binge-worthy. Better Call Saul is the best thing I'm watching at the moment. It's kind of started really slow and it put a lot of people off, but right now it's at like the best bit. It's so fucking good.
Fleabag is so good. Phoebe Waller-Bridge doing what she does best. It's a very good British comedy. Even if you don't like British comedy, I think that this is something very well cherished. I don't know, like for example, I mean, don't kill me, but I don't really understand The Office very well. Oh, Euphoria. I think that that's a very mainstream show already. It stars Zendaya and it has such beautiful, diverse amount of people in their cast. What are you doing?
I'm eating a peel.
You look like a goat. Mindhunter is a very good TV show in Netflix. It is a very interesting show if you're interested in like serial killers and like their psychology.
When they see us. Oh, that's not time to watch it. The world's already going to shit.
It's a 4-episode TV show. It's so good. It makes you feel so connected to these people and to the injustice that they went through.
Here's a book. Read the book. It's nice. It's called Washington Black. It's about a kid slave boy who was on the sugar plantations who by chance gets taken under the care of a mad scientist, and then he goes and kind of finds his freedom, and it's kind of like a grown-up's adventure. Oh, it's fucking, yeah, just so good. Also a good book is Into the Wild. The kid who went off in the 90s, he ran away from his parents with loads of money, he burnt the money, and then he was trying to walk across America up to Alaska, and it's about how he died. And also Otori trilogy, just kind of like a Japanese fantasy story. So many books, good.
So we are mixing up the apples. As you can see, we've mixed it up with nutmeg, cinnamon, sugar, sunflower, ginger, and then we just give it a stir. In the meantime, what we're gonna do is sit down with you and talk about some podcast.
So, if I get in a rut mentally, I'll listen to Tony Robbins, which is kind of a cliche. He's the American original motivational guy. Kind of never thought I'd listen to anyone like him. He's got away. The way he talks just makes you realise that all your kind of problems are self-indulgence and bullshit. So especially with this kind of self-isolation, it can be kind of intimidating. And to be thinking about kind of state of the world and your loved ones.
Society as we know it crumbling down.
Says there's a flu that we just all need to get over. Have a beer.
I can see that the cuts to social care were in a way the most silent, but also the most devastating.
Ciao, guys.
Having a ridiculously positive American man in your ear, not a bad thing to be listening to. I think Seth Godin is someone I've been listening to a lot recently. He's got a podcast called Akimbo, I think, and he talks a lot about interesting ideas and good ideas and meaningful work and like the change in culture regarding work with the internet. And then the last one, the Ricky Gervais podcast, back in the day, early 2000s, when him, Stephen Merchant and Carl Pilkington would sit down in a room and talk. You cannot take life seriously with the three of them talking to you. They're just so funny.
So after those podcasts that he's mentioned, the very last thing I wanna recommend is these two little books. I've only gone through like maybe a fourth of this one. It's called A Little Life. She's a thick girl. Most likely we're gonna be stuck in our houses for more than 15 days. As far as I'm concerned, it was 58 days for the Chinese. I would say that having some thick books with you will really help the sense of loneliness. Even more so if the book is about a bunch of friends. And another one that Matt gave me for Christmas is called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse. It's honestly the cutest book ever. Sometimes I just sit down and read it for a bit because it makes me feel better. It just gives me a boost of positivity. It's like Winnie the Pooh.
For me, getting back into books has been a lifesaver. With YouTube and Twitter and shit, it's just so connected and it's never ending.
It's hyper connected. It leaves you no space to think.
It's not peaceful at all. I don't ever feel peaceful when I'm watching YouTube.
Hello beautiful people, 2 hours later. We've just taken the dough out. What we have to do is just whack it. Aggression, come on.
I got too scared before.
Daddy issues! You should have loved me better, Dad. This is what you get. So he needs to start rolling, and that's gonna be the base. So excited. That's like so satisfying. So we put the base in, and now what we have to do is put the apples on top and then get this rolled up and put it on top of the apples. So we're gonna put the apples in. I've also just realized that we need to heat the oven up. How much is 500 Fahrenheit? So let's check. Don't look at my tabs, it's not porn. It's 260.
Yeah.
Nice. This looks gross.
Yeah.
We're gonna make the top of the pie. Okay, so we have to cut this in 10 strips and put them 5 here and 5 here. So this is how our pie is looking. I'm so excited. I'm gonna put this inside a bowl and then grab it with my own hands. Oh my god, it worked. What we're gonna do is put that egg white and brush it in here. We don't have a brush, so we're just using a spatula. Here's the result, and now we have to put it in the oven for 35 minutes or so. Do you want to do the honors? Please don't burn. Okay.
Pie!
Well, this pie is getting done. I wanted to say one last thing about this whole coronavirus thing. It is hard to be at home for so long. For the people that are not used to it, even more so if you're used to like walking out of the house every day and like going to the park or even going to work. We are freelancers, I think I've mentioned this before, and we're very much used to being at home. And I've had my moments of stress because I didn't have a space outside of my home, moments of dread. So we want to give you our little tips to you that maybe could help you. The first one, look out at the horizon. Look out into your window for like 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. Your brain gets really used to having walls very close to you, and eventually you're gonna feel really claustrophobic and you're gonna feel really stuck in your head. Try and focus on like the clouds or how the sky is looking or how it smells outside, and after doing that you might feel a bit freshened up. The next one I think is superlative important, at least it's been very important for me for the longest time. That is separating spaces. If you know you're gonna be at home all day, don't stay in your bed all day, because it might be comfy the first 2 hours and then you're just gonna get a sense of dread that you really don't want for the rest of the days. Make sure that your space where you sleep is to sleep, potentially watch a little show or read or just relax. And if you have to do some work through your laptop or you have to be a bit more efficient, make sure that you do that in the living room or even in the kitchen. And the last one that I'm gonna put out there, it's try to stay present. Try and stick yourself to what's happening now, what's happening today, what are you thinking of doing today. Usually I get my bullet planner and I just write it down in the morning. I make sure that everything that I'm going to do throughout the day is written down here. That is my focus that day. I'm not thinking of what's going to happen in 10 days, in 15 days, in 20 days, or tomorrow. This is it, and this is what I have to do, and tomorrow will be a new day. I feel like daydreaming about what's going to happen in 15 days when you get out of the house is going to fill you with so much dread. You're not going to be able to not even enjoy the little things of being at home. Because if you're preparing yourself for dread, you're going to feel dread. If you're preparing yourself for some positivity and look, you know, now I have time to do all of these things that I have not had time for the longest time, that'll be so much better for you.
It's really easy to just get comfortable at home. Trying to treat it like it's not just a place to chill out helped me loads. Getting ready for the day like I was going out anyway.
So take a shower.
And having just a normal kind of morning routine as if I was going to work. Because it's really easy to stay in and lie in. If you've not got someone to tell you when you need to be somewhere and where, you can get really complacent. If I get the morning right, usually the rest of the day kind of follows in suit. Win the morning, win the day, right?
Basically what you're saying is that when you wake up, don't expect the day to be all in pajamas. Try and make the effort to go to the shower. Even if it's just for yourself. If you feel like doing your makeup, do it. If that's what you usually do. Put some clothes on that are not your pajamas and try and like get ready for being outside but just being in. Because it's really going to set up your mind for the right thing.
I got a real problem with being on my phone or on YouTube quite a lot. You can just spend the whole day sitting on the couch, and in this case looking at a lot of news,
scrolling down and
Twitter, and because you get all the updates every 2 hours from some country where something's gone wrong. So try not to look at that shit in the morning, because if it gets in your head in the morning, it ain't gonna leave all day.
So you don't want to be in a state of panic throughout the entire day. It's not going to help.
There's nothing much we can do other than stay tight, look after each other. There's loads of funny videos and there's loads of pictures of loo roll and stuff, but at the end of the day, if that's all you're thinking about, I just don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, and then just being really intentional with time. If usually you're used to external structures, a timetable or meeting times or work times 9 till 5, then setting up your own structure can be kind of intimidating and difficult. If you've got everything happening at once and you're trying to juggle your personal projects, work, checking the emails first thing in the morning, it's not going to help.
Make sure you're safe, not only physically but also mentally, because this is going to take a toll on everyone. Just as a last note, don't hoard into the supermarkets and get all of the things so anyone else can get it. That is selfish. And also, the 3 key things. Wash your hands for 20 seconds. When you're coughing, do it in your elbow. And don't touch your face when you're outside and you've been touching things, you've entered a building, you've been with people that you don't know.
Stay at home and have a big wank.
I was gonna say that!
So this is the final result. It's beautiful. Now we have to wait for ours to eat it. This is our pie.
Is that how it's supposed to be? I don't think so, right?
Can I get...
Matthew!
It's apple pie. It's good. Missing some custard, but other than that.
Yes.